problem with Keith Senior? That is the big question that is buzzing around this ground. But Great Britain, they're pretty confident. Brian Noble, their coach, is very, very happy with the preparation. Of course, they spent 4 days down in Spain. The weather down there was absolutely superb. It's a very muggy night, so it certainly would have helped them. The problem that we'll be facing the New Zealanders has to be the jet lag. It really does take it out of you when you're coming from down under onto these shores, and I'm sure that that is the mind of Brian Noble, and that's the reason why I think he's gone for a very fast back three. Paul Johnson, Lee Gilmore, Gareth Ellis, very pacey indeed against a very slow but very large New Zealand pack. It'll be the big boys against the speed, and I think that it is an option that Brian Noble will utilize, and I think it will be an option that will bring home the bacon.
Great spirit, as you can see, in that British dressing room. The coach going round all of his players and wishing them well. We have mentioned the strength and depth of the New Zealand bench. John Kieran and Millwood are up here with us as well. John, the one man I suppose we've overlooked in many ways is little Rob Burrow from the Leeds Rhinos is on the bench. He has the ability to change the course of any game.
He'll be very, very important part of Brian Noble's strategy, Eddie, because I'm certain that Rob Burrow will not only feature as a half-back, I'm certain he'll put Rob Burrow on after about half an hour or so and play him as a hooker, so he can get out of dummy half, use those quick feet and his pace and his ducking ability to get through these big New Zealand forwards.
Well, they won 22-12 and 26-24 in the Tri-Nations against New Zealand last year. They trailed at half-time in both matches. But the big difference this year, Ian Millwood, is that the Kiwis arrive battle-hardened.
Very battle-hardened, physical, robust, in tune. They look very confident. They look together.
Two teams emerge, led by the officials and the players. Paul Wellens, Martin Gleeson, Stuart Fielden. They look very stern, but there's the key man for the Kiwis, Stacey Jones. He wore number 7 on his back, will be playing in Super League in 2006 with the French club Les Catalans. Ali Lauatiti, of course, there in the centre of your screen. He needs no introduction to Super League fans or supporters, of course, of the Leeds Rhinos. The pre-match party will soon emerge and will shake hands with the players of both teams. These are nervous moments, Steve-O, for the athletes as they wait to get in to the match. They wait to get in to the first tackle.
Certainly is. They'll be very proud when the national anthems are played, but deep inside all they want to do is just to get a touch of that ball, maybe get a big hit on the first tackle, and really they don't take kindly to all this palaver that goes on before, because they're battle-hardened both sides. They've all got experience. It may be a little bit nervous times for Rob Burrow.
Well, the presentation party being introduced to the players, and it gives us the opportunity just to check out the lineups. And Great Britain have got Paul Wellens at full-back. Then it's Brian Carney, the new vice-captain, Martin Gleeson, Keith Senior and Leon Price. It's Kevin Sinfield and Paul Deacon who get the first nod at half-back. The forwards, Stuart Fielden, Kieran Cunningham making his international comeback, Jamie Peacock captaining the side, Lee Gilmore, Paul Johnson in the second row, and Gareth Ellis is the loose forward. And on the bench, little Rob Burrow, Adrian Morley, Chev Walker, Nick Fozzard. He makes his international debut at the ripe old age of 28, and the coach is Brian Noble. Now the New Zealanders, Brent Webb at full-back, Jake Webster, Paul Fatuira, Clinton Tupi and Manu Vatavai. It's Nigel Vanganar and Stacey Jones. The forwards, Paul Rahihi on his way to Warrington, Motu Tony of Hull, Ruben Wickie, David Kidwell, David Solomona of Wakefield and Owen Guttenbeil. And the bench is occupied by Louis Anderson, Roy Asatazi, Frank Pritchard and Leeds Rhinos Ali Lauatiti. And the coach is Brian McLennan, who is the 43-year-old son of the former St Helens coach Mike McLennan. And there is our own Phil Clark just shaking hands with Nick Fozzard. What a night for Nick Fozzard. He's been through the mill over the past 10 years or so that he's been involved in rugby league. Illness and injury plagued him, but tonight he makes his international bow. The time now for the national anthems, then the eagerly awaited haka from the Kiwis. First of all, the New Zealand national anthem will be sung by Kay Jordan, and the British national anthem will be sung by Martin Toll and the Hope and Glory, who are the four men behind him. But first, Kay Jordan with the New Zealanders' national anthem. Jordan with the New Zealand national anthem. Now it is Martin Toll and his group Hope and Glory. Coach as well. Great Britain against New Zealand then in the 2005 Tri-Nations, and the referee is Glenn Black, who is a New Zealander, and he has been quoted on some of the websites overnight saying that he is just a little uneasy about being given control of this test match involving his fellow countrymen.
Well, to be fair, Eddie, I think it's somewhat of a farce. We should have neutral referees, and evidently it has been brought about by the fact that the Australians refused to have Glenn Black take charge of their two games, and quite frankly, I would have told the Australians to go take a jump. You will take what we give you. The international board should have made that quite clear.
This is one of the highlights of any tour. It's the haka. Always great to watch, and Great Britain just lined up in their positions waiting for the kick-off, totally unimpressed. And Kieran Cunningham, it was his 29th birthday yesterday, and as a present he plays in his first test match in 3 years. Last time against the Kiwis in 2002, it ended in agony for him when he had to leave the field with a dislocated elbow. Let's hope history does not repeat itself as far as that's concerned tonight for him.
He's going to be the key player for Great Britain. Over the past 5 or 6 years, the Australians and the Kiwis, they made it quite clear that this guy is the best hooker in the world. Sadly, for 3 years, he hasn't been able to prove it, but he will tonight.
Matutoni gets this Tri-Nations match underway, and And here is the first challenge. It was Jamie Peacock driving the ball forward, the captain leading from the front, and he will play the ball to Kieran Cunningham, and it is sped wide to Gareth Ellis. And Ellis is met, there's Vanganar in there, and so too is Paul Rahihi and David Kidwell. Cunningham again, the dummy half. That ball dipped in front of Stuart Fielden, and Rahihi, he flopped on Fielden late, and oh, hello. 4 tackles gone, and already a confrontation.
Well, it was never going to be tiddlywinks, was it? You can see there, Rahihi, it was a late flop. Not only that, trying to rip Fielden's head off in the process. And it's something that we expected. It is a very rough, tough outfit, the pack of New Zealand.
So here come Great Britain, and the drive forward by Lee Gilmore, overlooked last year, the St Helens man, but brought back into the fold here tonight. He gets up to his feet eventually, plays the ball to Cunningham. This now is Deacon. He fires Fielden, and Fielden straight at them again. And he bounces off 2, he bounces off 3. Whoa, that's dangerous. That's dangerous by Solomona. The referee has called time off.
Stay off me, David.
He's going to put him on report. That was very dangerous indeed.
David, dangerous tackle. We're putting him on the court.
Around, and Fielden gets from the field and says, boy, I'm glad that I got my elbow down in time. That could have been extremely dangerous. Brian Noble, the British coach, didn't seem too perturbed, but he would have been happy to see that Fielden just jumped straight back onto his feet. He's a rough toughie. Brian McLennan obviously sending the message out that we want to play tough, but we can't afford to do that and give this guy Deacon a chance for penalties throughout the night.
Yes, it is Paul Deacon. And it is 2 points to Great Britain. Well, 2 penalties going against the Kiwis early, both of them against Stuart Fielden. I noticed when Deacon was lining up that kick, he was just rubbing his neck a little bit. Well, it's a fiery start, Ian Milward. I suppose it's what we should have predicted.
Work the rack.
It's a test match, Eddie. They expect that. But I'll tell you what, they show their cards very early. Even though it's only the first set of 6, a couple of little decoys to create some second man, to create some more one-on-one tackles. Gee, I thought they'd come off the foot there, Eddie. Well, it'll be interesting, this one here.
Peacock also thought it came off the foot. I must say it was an awful pass into him from Kevin Sinfield.
Well, he didn't need to do it. There was no one around Sinfield. All he had to do was regain his feet and drive forward. Yeah, that's a knock-on.
Yeah, I stand apologise there, Stephen.
The officials got it right, but he doesn't have the advantage that we have.
And so this is Stacey Jones, and he gets it to Webb. It's opened up for Webb. And Brent Webb will touchdown for the New Zealanders. Oh, that was easy. That was very easy indeed. And the Great Britain defence was found wanting then. There was a massive hole. And Stacey Jones fed the fullback. And Brent Webb gets his 3rd try of his international career. Brent Webb and New Zealand, they trailed 2-0. They now lead 4-2.
Superb move from the base of the scrum. Watch for the dummy runner and the spill around. It all came about from the knock-on from Peacock. It really should not have been passed by Kevin Sinfield in the first place. But look how they pulled it in. See the dummy man coming through. Nigel Vanganar was the man that came the dummy, and the fullback Webb picked it out superbly. Watch the dummy runner come right in between. You see him run right into the path of Kevin Sinfield. It left an enormous hole for the fullback to skirt in. What a start, what a game, rough and tumble to start with, and the first try with only minutes gone in this game.
And the first time that the New Zealanders had ball in hand, and they get across the whitewash for the try. And here's Stacey Jones to try and add the extra 2. And he has found the mark. The flags will tell you it's Great Britain 2, New Zealand 6. First time ball in hand, and the New Zealanders in the shape of Brent Webb, the New Zealand Warriors fullback, over the line for a 4-pointer.
Superb run by Vanganar. Look at him, he's going straight for Sinfield. Bang. 2-on-1 doesn't go. Wellens is in there, and Webb's also got the 4.
And the kickoff hits the post and will be driven forward by Ruben Wiki, who makes International Rugby League history tonight, his 47th cap. His 10th cap against Great Britain, the most cap player in Rugby League Test history now, and the referee gives New Zealand a penalty. Peacock, I think, with a high shot.
Well, he certainly was going looking, wasn't he? Peacock just a little bit unsettled at the moment. Well, I don't know why he's been caught for that. A little bit late. Straight to the chest. He's got to settle things down a little bit. He'll be a little bit upset by the fact that he came up with that knock on. They've just got to steady themselves, Great Britain. Now that's a move that the Kiwis will do all night. The first man receiving the ball at the play of the ball often steps over it, and the second man runs away with it.
Here they come again, and Brent Webb, by the way, in the match against Australia on this ground last year, he scored after 3 minutes, and history has repeated itself. He has scored after 3 minutes here as well. Motu Tony, the dummy half, and they come this way. Oh, they're in again with the winger, Fatubai. And New Zealand, 2 tries in the opening 6 minutes. The 19-year-old Manu Vatuvei and Brian McLennan, he has got this team together, there is no doubt about that, and they lead by 10 points to 2.
Again, another error allowed the Kiwis to get in a good position, but that was not a good effort from Carney. They're at 6s and 7s in the defensive line. We anticipated that quite a few of the Great Britain boys may be a little bit rusty. A few of them, it's been several weeks since they touched the ball in real conflict. But what a finish. He just brushed away Carney. And again, 2 men went for the same centre. The dummy runner effect that they are utilising, this Kiwi mob, is splitting the British boys apart. They look unsettled. It's really got to be up the jumper time now and make sure they get back into the swing of things.
Well, when Leslie Vainikolo entered hospital earlier this week, Brian McLennan, the New Zealand coach, said, never mind, we have the new Vainikolo in Manu Vatuvei playing in number 5 for us. He is the same size. In fact, he's probably bigger. He most certainly is younger. And what's more, they've got Stacey Jones, who is the kicker-in-chief for New Zealand. And this is not the start that Great Britain wanted. Great Britain 2, New Zealand 12. Ian Millwood, this is crisis time. Now talk about that after we see this with Steve-O.
Well, look at Solomon, and you can see there that Khan is just coming in, and by the time he gets himself set, he's just brushed away with ease.
I know, Eddie, you're talking about crisis time. There's a long way to go, Eddie. It's too early to get that sort of talk. You've got to remember, they've given up the ball with a drop ball and a penalty. That's what's got them down the field. It's a small ground we talked about. And their defensive lines. Players are a little bit unaccustomed. Some players are coming in when they should stay out and have a little bit more faith on the inside. Carney got it wrong by heading out. We had to stay a little bit square there. I'll get that right. It's only early. Let's not panic yet, Eddie. They haven't had the ball yet, Great Britain.
No, let's not panic, John, but this isn't the start that Britain would have wanted.
It isn't. No, I'm just waiting for normal service, Eddie, to be resumed, because we haven't yet played a set of 6 with a kick on the end. It's either been a penalty, a try, or a penalty goal. So really the game needs to settle down, and Great Britain certainly need the game to settle down.
This is the last tackle here for the New Zealanders. Guttenbeil plays the ball to Tony, and the ball was touched in flight off the kick from Stacey Jones. And here they come, this massive pack of forwards. They're pretty mobile as well. David Kidwell. And here now is Kevin Sinfield. He's recalled to the international scene as well tonight, and that first pass that produced the knock-on by his captain here, Jamie Peacock, not the best start for him. Solomona again with the tackle on Peacock.
They've only just got to settle things down. Don't get frustrated. There's a few of the British boys talking to the referee. They should get on with the game plan. Settle things down. They're doing it right with the big forwards calling through.
That was Stuart Fielden.
They've got to build their confidence first.
Lee Gilmore will go down the left-hand channel. Drives the ball forward. It's the last one here for Great Britain. Just 37 metres made. The kick from Sinfield's going to be important. And it's high, it's straight, up and under. And where will this one bounce? It'll bounce back in Britain's favour. Wellens has it. But Vanganar gets to him. The ball is knocked forward. And actually, Keith Senior was stood in an offside position.
Very fortunate there that it's just a turnover. They're just off the pace at the moment, Britain. But they got the tactics right. They were using the big forwards. Stuart Fielden, what a game he's having so far. He's taken on the entire pack at the moment.
Well, I think they got the tactics right, Steve, of getting to the end of the set of 6. But I thought the choice of play on that last tackle was a pretty poor one. It needed to be a kick towards the 10-metre, towards the goal line, to make these big Kiwi forwards bring it right from their own line instead of turning it over in midfield.
Quick play the ball. This is Motu Tony. John Keir knows all about him. He gets the ball away to the loose forward Guttenbeil. And Great Britain have to muscle up in numbers to bring him down. We haven't played 10 minutes yet. We've got 12-2 on the board. And this is Solomona again. And the kick to the corner. Looking for Vatuvai. Oh, I think he's got it. I think Manu Vatuvai has scored here.
He's certainly got his hand on the ball, but I think his left shoulder and his left elbow, they just have hit the whitewash and saved it. What a beautiful little chip through there by David Solomona. They realise and they think that Brian Carney, who hasn't played a lot of rugby league this season, now then, does he get that elbow down first? No, this will be a try. He's checking to see whether he's onside, and if he is onside, this is TRY time.
Here he's a mile on.
Oh yes, half a metre. This will go down as TRY, and Britain have been absolutely blitzed by this fella. The second rower, David Solomona. He provided the try for Vatuvai, and now he's provided the try for the winger. That is try time, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm with you, Steve-O, there. I think there's downward pressure from the winger. He did a great job to get there, and it's just in the field of play. And it's a very close goal.
It's got to be given.
But I think that will be a try, Steve. I'm with you.
I'm going with you guys. I'm going with you. I think it's a try.
Now watch his left boot.
This is what they're looking at now.
It touches the whitewash here, but he hasn't touched the ball. Watch him now drag the boot back on the inside. Watch it come inside before it hits the ball. He brings it in. It's got to be given. Sadly.
That's a try. Great piece of work there from the wingman. Really showed great body awareness to squeeze in the narrowest of gaps. He's a big fella, Eddie, but my word, what a great job he did there, just squeezing between Carney and the touch and the flag to ground the ball. That's a legal try for me.
Well, Bob Connolly is the video referee here tonight. He's had a good long look at this, and he's having a look again at the touchdown, only looking at the grounding now.
He gets it with the first one, second one, sorry. Here it comes. Not the first hand, it's the second one. That's where it counts. That is control pressure, downward pressure as far as I'm concerned.
He's taking an eternity, Bob Connolly. Well, that looks like a try.
It certainly does. We're all in agreement, but we are not the video referee. And if there's one time that Brian Noble will be crossing the fingers and saying that it's no try, this is it. This could be the turning point. Does he touch it to knock on? That's what he's looking at. Or does he miss it with the left arm first?
I think we're also looking here, Steve, at the benefit of the doubt. Does it go with the attacking player?
I think he's missed it with the left arm anyway. This is where he scores a try. This is it. This is TRY for mine.
Well, they've looked at it long and hard. Bob Connolly is the man with the decision.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eddie, we had 3 VAR referees here. They're out of work.
Well, I don't know what Brian Noble's got in his inside pocket. He must have a lucky charm somewhere, because that, to me...
Well, knock on is the decision that they've made.
Was a 100% try.
Well, we are as British can be, but if that had gone the other way at the other end, I'm afraid we'd be saying now that Britain had just had their pockets picked.
Yeah, we'd be screaming, wouldn't we?
Just getting away from the no try now, Eddie. Let's get back to this test match at the moment. Is what I'm really disappointed about. It's a test match. Both teams, when they've had the ball, have made fairly easy yardage. We talk about the poor kick from Singfield. The thing we want to see both teams muscle up, more so Great Britain, is their defence. That's the area both teams have got to get more dominant, because yardage is too easy at the moment.
Well, Great Britain have just escaped going at least 16-2 down, and they're looking to turn that sort of advantage into something up the other end. Deacon with the kick. He was looking for a 40-20, but it bounces absolutely perfectly for Vatuvai. That's a big hit. That's a terrific tackle by Paul Johnson on Manu Vatuvai. And here now is Webb, and Webb gets the ball in field to Clinton Tupy. The bulk of this New Zealand side, by the way, is formed around the New Zealand Warriors club. And Guttenbeil is another one of them, winning his 9th cap tonight. On halfway, he plays it to Motu Tony. Then Paul Rahihi drives the ball in. That's good defence from Great Britain.
Much better. That'll please their coach Brian Noble, but he's going to be left with a bit of a Well, of course there is, Brian, because of the fact that the Kiwis are picking out that Martin Gleeson and Brian Carney, they're very unsteady.
High kick from Stacey Jones. And this is danger all over it. The goal, I was going to say Carney deals with it. And nobody wants to touch it down.
There'll be a knock-on anyway from the Kiwis, and again, Brian Carney is just not at the races. You've got to hand it to the New Zealand coach, Brian McLennan. He's picked this out.
Well, if David Solomona would have picked that up cleanly, that would have been another try.
I don't think so. I think he knocked on. Oh, that's a terrible pass.
But he did knock on, that's what I say. If he'd have picked the ball up, he would have put the ball down over the line easily, then Solomona. That's why Britain have this possession. Gilmore.
Field position is what Britain needs.
Here's Cunningham. He's a man who can maybe give it them. Senior wide. Now then, outside him is Leon Price. Not the best pass. Price had to stop, go back, and in the end he's in touch.
It's right. Price just hit the deck and was hoping that someone would just tap him on the shoulder and say you tackled. The referee's got it absolutely spot on, and so has the touch judge. It was an awful pass there from Senior. But the way that Price just sat down, never even attempted to get back in. Boy, someone wants to get out with a piece of leather and just shove it into the ears of these British boys. They've got to wake up.
They certainly have, Steve, and you call it exactly right. It's field position that they need. Look where New Zealand are getting the ball time after time. It's in midfield, and it lets people like Solomona attack. And when Solomona can attack, it causes problems against anybody.
Kidwell is tackled by Paul Deacon. The dummy half there is Paul Fatuira. He gives it to Stacey Jones. Good pass wide to Kidwell.
Look how easy that the Kiwis are getting past that advantage line. The first and second markers, they're non-existent.
Here's Stacey Jones and Nigel van Ganaar and Brent Webb, and wide it comes, and there's danger here again because Tupi has it. And Britain in the end managed to get him down on tackle number 4. Brent Webb again, and Solomona showed it. Went for the glory himself, is halted by 3 blue and white jerseys. Motu Tony, the dummy half. It comes to Stacey Jones. Oh, there's a space here for Kidwell. Couldn't get the ball away. He does go to Senior, and Senior's on the way. Infield it goes to Leon Price, and they get back in numbers. The Kiwis and haul him down.
He took a huge gamble in Senior, and it came off. Thankful for the British side.
This is Gareth Ellis.
This will really lift them. They were very much exposed out wide yet again.
Kevin Sinfield. And now the second row, Paul Johnson. Time now for New Zealand to muscle up in defence with Britain ball in hand in the Kiwis half of the field. This is Peacock, and Peacock stepping out of the challenges. Great captain's knock from Jamie Peacock.
Nearly had his stolen by Brent Webb there. Did well to keep hold of the football.
Cunningham, one of those barnstorming runs of his. That's what was needed there. Cunningham waits at dummy half again. Ball played to him 10 metres away. Sinfield, infield to Deacon. Wide it goes. A stab kick off the knees. Play on. And here they come, the Kiwis, in the shape of Fatuira. Oh, he's inside one. Good job, the fielding was there. And he got the ball away. He managed to dislodge the ball. It's a knock-on against Fatuira. Oh, Britain are treading on very thin ice at the moment.
There certainly are. There's gaps all over the place. There's no coordination in defence, and Brian Noble is fully aware of it. He's just hoping that he can get through the next few minutes and try to get that field position.
Gilmore's kick was seized upon by Fatuira. This is Martin Gleeson. Tackled by Brent Webb. Sinfield waits dummy half, gets Britain over halfway. Cunningham waits, quick play the ball. Johnson. And Clinton Tupi was first to him with Stacey Jones. Cunningham again. Goes down the short side. Gleeson. Carney's in touch.
Well, it's not a bad option there. They worked the blind side on 3 occasions. And that's one way to settle things down. But this is not the outcome that they needed. They really wanted to be able to put a kick into the in-goal area, trying to get consecutive set of 6.
Well, we spoke before the match, Ian, about the narrowness of this field, and you said they wouldn't be ashamed and wouldn't be afraid of allowing the attackers to go down the wing and offer them the touchline.
No, they won't. But, you know, the biggest thing we keep talking about up here, and I think all the fans and the players are talking about, is the last tackle option, how clinical it is and how attacking is going to be. I think both teams have been very poor in that. Look, they're going to show you the outside. Maybe that's when we've got to show a little bit more runs against the grain and turn the ball back with a player coming back on the inside. I think you're going to find the New Zealand forwards are a little bit sluggish and very sideways at the moment. You could utilise that.
17 minutes gone of the first match for Great Britain in the 2005 Gillette Tri-Nations, and behind the 8 ball, 12-2 at half-time. They've got a sub on. It's that is Gutenbiel who took that tackle. Here is Stacey Jones. This now is Solomona. Oh, he's inside Deacon. Great ball out the back door to Brent Webb.
Look to touch forward. They've got away with it.
Last tackle here. Stacey Jones will put the kick in under pressure from Fielden, and that ball will run dead.
He'll be happy with that as well. A little bit of frustration. They didn't get it right, but they're making the gaps. Great Britain, they will be losing a lot of energy. They're having to turn around time and time again. And this is something that I thought that Brian Noble would have instilled with the Great Britain side, with having Johnson, Gilmore and Elledge, the back three in the pack, to run this Kiwi pack off the park. At the moment, they just can't get through a final set.
And here now, though, is a man who might get Britain going forward. It's Adrian Morley, beginning the match off the bench.
He will interact quite a few every time he gets a football.
This is Sinfield now. Back to Kieran Cunningham. It's opened up for Cunningham. And Cunningham barnstorming at the middle finds Wellens. And Wellens is hauled down. The last tackle, says the referee. And this now is Johnson. Penalty against New Zealand. Penalty for Great Britain.
Well, I'd take the quick tap. I'd get on with it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Steve. Quick tap. They're on momentum. Cunningham's running the ball. They've got some momentum here, Great Britain.
And they have taken it quickly. And here is Adrian Morley, the man who started this attack, really, with the drive forward. And Cunningham trying to pinch one. Held up.
Well done. A great option there. That's what he's been brought back for.
Let's have a look.
As Kieran Cunningham is
just making absolutely sure he didn't get the angle of vision that we did then.
Well, it's
no try.
No try. Didn't they do well? Solomona again, what a game he's having. He says, give me the football. You ain't getting it on the terra firma.
I guess just shook his head then, didn't he?
Yeah.
David Solomona. I don't think this one will take 2 minutes to decide.
Well, after the last one, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, second tackle, yeah, go ahead.
No try, and the tackle count continues because Cunningham was held up over the line. And so they come back to the 10-metre mark. And Cunningham will play the ball to Adrian Morley. Morley then to Sinfield. And this now is Fielden. And Fielden, he thought about the offload, and the ball was clamped. Cunningham again. Deacon will attack the line. Deacon fires the ball wide. Good hands. Oh, that was forward. That was forward a mile. Leon Price thought he was over the whitewash, but it was a clear forward pass here. This one.
Yeah.
Either
way, I think his left elbow might have gone into it, but was it a ricochet there? It'd be interesting to see that again. Did the ball go backwards and maybe ricochet? I don't know. No. I thought maybe it came off a Kiwi's head. It didn't.
The encouraging point from a British point of view, they've been over the line twice.
Yeah, that'll build their confidence.
And I'm sure the big thing that builds confidence is the way Cunningham's rounding the ball. He's creating a lot of doubts around the ruck. I think the confidence for the Kiwis, Solomona, geez, causing Great Britain some problems on their right-hand side defence.
Yeah, he's very much turned around on his feet, the momentum of the game, but this fella always injects himself, Brent Webb, and he has done here.
He has. That's a great run. And the drive forward comes in from Roy Assotazi, who'll play the ball, and wide it goes. And here is Kidwell again.
We're not moving into their faces. We're taking one step and then watching what they're going to do. Look at that. They go forward, then they're hanging off. What are they going to do with it? We've got to go more in a unit.
Ruben Wiki will take the fifth and final tackle, this set of 6. Owen Gutenbiel waits at dummy half. They look for Stacey Jones and find him. There goes the high kick, and this is one for the winger, but Carney has dropped it again.
He's got to be in an offside position.
He is.
He's having a nightmare, I'm afraid.
Well, Great Britain's vice-captain, Brian Carney, has been tested twice in the air, and twice he has fluffed it.
Yeah, the last tackle players of the New Zealanders certainly are better than the British players at the minute, and he's the guy under pressure, Brian Carney. They're putting plenty of height on the ball, putting plenty of pressure on him, and that's the end result.
The big problem is, though, that there was nobody really applying any pressure to Carney at all. He was in open space. He should have taken that.
Well, we saw Brian Carney trying to take some high balls in practice immediately before the match.
He dropped them.
And he dropped them all. And we could see that from our studio, which is just behind where this play the ball is taking place now. And here come the Kiwi on the charge again. It was a drive forward, and they had to be brave in defence then, and Morley and Gilmore was. And here is Motu Tony, and now it's with Brent Webb again. Good movement. They bounce off the challenges. This is Kidwell. And Kidwell gets the ball away to Nigel Vanganar. Well, Britain trailed 12-2 to the New Zealanders at Huddersfield last year at half-time and came back and won. But they didn't have Stacey Jones then, and they've got him now.
Great tackle there by Paul Wellens. Paul and all he had to. He knew the little halfer was going to throw the dummy.
Motu Tony back on the inside. Gutenbeil held up short by Sinfield and Wellens. And that's Tupi. And back it comes to Stacey Jones. He'll put it to the air wide. Oh, and they've got the ball with ease, the winger, Webster. And Jake Webster has scored, but the referee again hands it on to the video.
Check the onside.
And he just wants to check that Jake Webster was onside. There was a lot of hang time, though, on the football.
It was pretty hard to see from that tight shot, but it was up there a long time. I think it's okay. That is try time. He's happy with that. Yep. I think he'll give this one.
It was in the air a long time, wasn't it?
Was it ever?
Robert Connolly's denied the Kiwis once. Can he deny them a second time? No, he can't. And Jake Webster, 22 years of age today. And I said after 6 minutes it was a crisis for Great Britain. It has now become an even bigger crisis for Brian Noble. And the New Zealanders are winning this with ease.
Beautiful way to kick, wasn't it? Plenty of height. Price never really contested for it. And they are in one heck of a big hole, Britain. You can see there, it really wasn't contested strongly. This man at the heart of nearly everything for the Kiwis. And isn't he happy, Webster? Well, they're just playing with us at the moment.
Jake Webster of the Melbourne Storm. 2 tries against Australia last week in Auckland, and Stacey Jones hasn't missed a kick yet. And the faces on the Great Britain boys tell their own story. They know there is a major problem developing here. Stacey Jones has added the extras. 18 points to 2. New Zealand lead here at Loftus Road in Tri-Nations Game 3. They say he might not be playing again in this series, Stacey Jones. I bet after this they'll do all they can to persuade him, Ian.
They will, because I tell you what, they're on their way to a Tri-Nations final, and the way he just keeps the composure and direction, they feel so confident. Forwards know where they're going to hit, backs know where they're going to get off the ball. He's conducting that orchestra beautiful, isn't he, Steve-O?
Unbelievable, and leading the forwards, David Solomona. We knew that they would use the 2 second rowers, Kidwell and Solomona out wide, but the way that Solomona has been running down this, our right centre towards Gleeson and Carney. As we've just seen there, Leon Price wasn't up to it, and neither was Keith Senior. We knew they'd be a little bit rusty, Britain. Quite a few out there. It's been a long time since they've had really heavy contact.
Important tackle that was by Martin Gleeson. Last tackle here for New Zealand. Stacey Jones just outside the 40-metre mark. By the way, his successful goal kick a couple of moments ago takes him over the 100-point mark for his country. He now joins the likes of Philip Piner, Henry Paul, Des White, Darrell Halligan, and the great Matthew Ridge of scoring over 100 points for his country.
And there again, we saw that kick from Stacey Jones, quite happy to just kick it dead in goal. They know they can line up and just wait for the Great Britain side to tap on the 20. And the way their defence is solid, they know that they can contain them.
It's Kieran Cunningham, 40 metres away from the Kiwis line. He finds Deacon, and Deacon spins. He thought out of trouble, but Nigel Vangenaar was there to make tackle number 4. Here is Kevin Sinfield. Wide it goes to Gleeson, and Gleeson tries to get round Stacey Jones. Brilliant pass, finds Brian Carney. Oh, forward, says referee Glenn Black. Forward pass.
It was a late call. I think that came from the touch judge. British fans don't like it.
But I think he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll see there on the wide shot. We talk about the momentum, but I don't think that Gleeson went forward enough. Chances gone begging. And when you think about it, that no try
could have been game, set and match.
Oh.
Yep.
Here now, Clinton Tupy.
Holding on 1.
Brent Webb was the dummy half. And, well,
holding 2 on 2.
not too much to worry about for Great Britain. I was going to say that the likes of Ali Lauatiti, Frank Pritchard still to come into this match. And maybe there is a problem developing for Great Britain. Injury news, Bill. Jamie Peacock.
There was suggestion that there might be a problem with Jamie Peacock, but in actual fact it's not a recurrence of the injury that he suffered, a very nasty personal injury that he suffered during the grand final, caused him to miss a lot of the game, in fact, because of the blow that he took in the groin. Well, no repeat of that, no problems in that area according to team doctor Professor Chris Brooks. It was just a tactical switch and Jamie Peacock having a breather. Incidentally, Rob Burrow just about to enter the fray, and really they do need some inspiration. He's replacing Paul Deacon.
Thanks, Bill. I'm sorry, I think I might have been talking all over the top of you then. I think we got the drift of what you were saying. This is Fielden.
Well, if ever a time for little Rob Burrow beat to make an impact, it's now. Great Britain know they have to score a try.
Oh, Johnson makes the break. Johnson to the corner, and Paul Johnson for Great Britain. Well, that will give the British Lions a bit of hope. That will give the coaching team a bit of hope. Brian Noble passes the information down via John Sharp, and Paul Johnson has just breathed a little bit of life into the Great Britain Tri-Nations programme.
This is the reason why Noble had so much confidence in the fella, because he has the speed out wide. That's why he's picked Gilmore and Ellis and Johnson. They have the pace, and it has proved very well indeed. Good play by Cunningham, ran across there, left Stacey Jones for dead, in and out. Stacey Jones committed himself early. Johnson takes full advantage. Britain are back in it, and boy, did they need that. That could be the lifesaver. It will leave some doubt in the Kiwis' minds, mainly due to the fact that New Zealand, in every game last year, capitulated in the second half. Will they do it again? It's going to be interesting, Eddie.
It is. Paul Johnson of the Bradford Bulls winning his 10th cap, and that's his 3rd try for his country. And Kevin Sinfield here with the opportunity to add the extras. Omitted last year from the tournament, and in off the post. I wonder whether in the last couple of minutes we've just seen a tide turn for Great Britain. Johnson's try, converted by Sinfield in off the post. They all count.
They certainly do all count, Eddie, and it was very, very important indeed that Great Britain did get a foothold back in this game. It's now reduced the deficit to 10 points. 10 points is nothing in the modern day. They just need to keep to the structure, get to the half-time, because there's certainly a lot that Brian Noble can put right with his half-time team talk.
Well, this is going out on the full. Out on the fall. Brian Carney was chasing it, but when it hit him, he was over the dead ball line, fortunately.
I'm not so sure, Eddie. He's up in the air. Only just.
Actually, he's put it in play, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's an incorrect decision, Eddie. That's his jump from the field of play and touched the ball in mid-air. That should have been a drop out onto the post, so another little let off.
Oh, bad play, but they've got away with it.
They have got away with it. This is Morley.
Well, the gods are with them at the moment, Britain. That should have been picked up by the officials, the kick-off. They shouldn't have got the penalty.
Gleeson just plucked that ball out of the air and out of the arms of Stacey Jones. He was looking for the interception. And suddenly Great Britain have got a little bit of wind in their sails with Burrow. And here comes Kieran Cunningham. Now it's Sinfield. The Kiwis defence, though, standing firm. Sinfield slips the pass to Burrow, and he is enveloped by Vanganar.
A bit of a roughing up as well.
This is Chev Walker now.
Will we see a solo run from Cunningham?
There he is, and he goes on his own. Cunningham draws the attack, draws the defence. Has he got over the line here, Lee Gilmore? No, he's held up. Referee doesn't need to go to the video referee this time.
This is unbelievable, isn't it? Tries are coming up from all over. Tries and no tries. Not running out of payment to get anything down.
Well, there's plenty of gaps in both defences, isn't there? That's one thing for certain. I think we're going to see plenty more points.
The tackle count continues again. This is tackle number 4. Here is Burrow. And a chance here for Walker. Walker trying to use his strength. Just held up short of the line. Last tackle here for Great Britain. Walker will play the ball to Leon Price. Back it comes to Burrow. Kick from Burrow, cross field, looking for Carney. Oh, it's clutched out of the air by Vatabai.
Great take, wasn't it? Not a bad option, though, from the little fella. Burrow. And New Zealand be quite happy just to close things down at the moment. Bit slippery out there.
This is Kidwell for New Zealand.
We'll try to get into a good position, and if possible, New Zealand kick this ball dead in goal behind the Great Britain post yet again. They've done that on 3 occasions.
Paul Rahihi with the luminous boots. He stands out like a beacon, doesn't he, tonight? And it went in front of Jones. This is Lauatiti. They've got themselves in a bit of a tangle, but somehow they get out of it, and Webb's kick is just hacked forward. Senior gets the ball then to Leon Price. Rob Burrow waits at dummy half for Great Britain. Keith Senior.
Just a sign of nerves just coming into the New Zealand camp at the moment. You can see there on that last tackle. Not the best play the ball by Senior. They got away with it.
No, they haven't. It's a knock on.
Lost control, Keith.
Lost control.
It's interesting in rugby league, Eddie, when you make a tackle. Both your defenders have got to get up and get square and get at the mark area. When the try occurred for Great Britain, Cunningham had no one at marker, New Zealand didn't, and he was able to utilise that by jumping. And their last break, he did the same again. It's a key area as the game unfolds. The more they can't get set at marker, Cunningham will make them pay.
Well, you might remember last year there were a few better second-half comebacks in British Test history than those involving Great Britain against New Zealand. And suddenly the New Zealanders are looking a little bit rattled.
And again, they've come up with a knock-on. I mentioned it's a little bit wet out there. Not a lot of dew on the surface.
Scrum will go down right on the halfway line. Burrow gets the possession, finds Kevin Sinfield. Here is Martin Gleeson. Gleeson, oh, he's ducked under the challenges here. Finds Chev Walker. Walker just slipped at the vital moment then.
It's now the turn of the Kiwis not moving up. They were really encouraging in the first 15 minutes, but now they're hanging back. Britain are getting over that advantage line, and they're finding it by running from the dummy half. Remember, the try from Johnson came from Cunningham doing exactly that.
This is Burrow. Burrow back to Wellens on the inside. The runner was there, and he was drilled to the deck. Lee Gilmore, he lost the ball. No advantage made there. The referee calls 0 on the tackle count, but there was no real advantage to the New Zealanders, was there?
15 metres back. That's the reason why the fullback, Brent Webb, looked at the official.
Really should have put the scrum down, but referee allows things to continue. And here comes Rahihi again. Warrington fans will be interested to see Rahihi. And it's a good offload from him. And wide it goes, and here's the big man again, Vatuvai. And he gets the ball away. And a good job that Wellens got the tackle in on Clinton Tupi. Motu Tony. Infield it goes to Stacey Jones. Here now is Vanganar. That's a good tackle by Keith Senior.
Well, I've got to say, it's about time that Brian Noble starts thinking about bringing Brian Carney off. I'm sorry to say it.
Stacey Jones on the bounce. He finds Lauatiti, who goes round one. Lauatiti. Oh, the pass was poor. The option was wrong. Vatavai, though, was waiting for the chance.
And again, look where Carney is. If that had been a straight pass, Carney would have had no chance of stopping it. I mean, you've got to be cruel in this game. You're a coach, Ian.
Yeah, I think where you're also being real on the mark here, Steve-O, is when they're coming out of the half, New Zealand, they're making easy yards down their left, which is a Great Britain right. It's not only in good ball when they're attacking the line, it's out of yardage coming off their half. So, you know, at both ends of the park, they've got to get more one-on-one, more communication, more direct, and come up with a body.
And just to speak in Brian Carney's corner, he's only made 16 appearances for Wigan this year. He hasn't been there all the time, and he usually at this level is a class act.
Yeah, I know that, but look, there's no excuses when you pull on an international jumper. If you're not playing well, you become a liability, and I'm sorry, that's what it's become at the moment.
Sinfield with the kick over the top. The fullback Webb is after it again, and he will launch the New Zealand counter-attack, but only as far as Cunningham. That was Stacey Jones, and here they come once more. Walker with an important tackle.
The point I was making, that's going to be a penalty.
In the ruck,
silly
interference.
It's just silly play.
In the ruck area.
It gives the opposition 30, 40 metres downfield.
Well, we speak about how small this pitch is, and once you get a penalty, Steve, as you rightly call it, you really launch your next set of six from a very, very favourable position once again. And we've identified this left side of New Zealand, but I'll tell you what, Great Britain are attacking their left side as well, because I think they've spotted Stacey Jones, and they're really working at him when he's defending.
Here is Stacey Jones, though, attacking, and he gets the ball away, and here is Webb, and they're in again, the Kiwis. Webb with the try, second try for Brent Webb. The referee
Just check
hasn't
the
given
grounding,
it yet.
please.
He wants to check the grounding.
If anyone has been impeded.
And he wants to see whether anyone's been impeded. They cannot look, by the way, for any possible forward passes. And there was possibly one that was a little questionable in there. But they're looking to see if anyone's been impeded in back play, and looking also for the touchdown.
Well, it looks okay there.
Well, they can't give it for forward passes.
No, there's nothing wrong with this at all. He does well, doesn't he? That is a try, and that is a damn fine try as well. What a wonderful effort. He's got to give that.
They can't deny that one.
Oh, surely not. I don't want it. I want it to be no try, but it's got to be.
And try it is. And Brent Webb, the New Zealand Warriors fullback. That's now 4 tries for his country in the past week, and Brian Noble is on his way down to the sideline. And, well, he has got some work to do.
Superb play, though. You can see the defence yet again. Just grabbing hold of them. They've got the support play there. Nothing that Sinfield could do about it. What a fine athlete this fella is. Beautiful pass. See how he just fended away. Made sure he carried the ball in the right half, so he could fend with the left. That is classic stuff. International quality, and this guy is a real superstar.
Well, he's from the New Zealand Warriors, and the bulk of this squad is from that club. They disappointed in 2005, cost Tony Kemp his job. Ivan Cleary will be the coach at the Warriors next year. And Stacey Jones, well, he won't be there. He'll be at Lake Catalan in France in the Super League. And boy, he will light up our competition. But Brent Webb, 2 tries. And Phil Clark talking to Dad. Is Dad there? Colin Clark. And Bill Francis also. But they are not happy British supporters.
Did his ominous signs in there. I know the scoreboard says it, Eddie, but in the last game they scored 26 points, over 30 against Australia in the first game. Any possession and back-to-back sets. They're just going to krill you, New Zealand. They're the one with the energy levels. They've had more ball and they've done better with it, but they've given it to them too cheap, Great Britain.
Well, we're dishing out far too many easy penalties if you think about it. And John Keir made the point, didn't you, John, that you concede a penalty, it's a short pitch, it's a narrow pitch, you piggyback them forward.
Exactly right. That's exactly what happened with the last try, and once again they're rolling forward.
Well, not done. It is a very good job that Fatuira lost that ball.
It was 2-on-1. Price was stranded.
Well, right on the stroke of half-time, that really could have been curtains. And Brian Noble, the opening 40 minutes, not gone according to plan. Well, he will be delighted to get into the dressing room to get at his players. Remarkably, Great Britain took the lead with a Deacon penalty after just 2 minutes. The lead was short-lived, just 60 seconds. Webb with the try, Vatavai, Webster, and Webb again. Johnson with the try that gave Britain hope that New Zealand ahead by 24 points to 8 at half-time. Tomorrow, more sports action involving New Zealand. Live international cricket. It's the third one-dayer of New Zealand's tour of South Africa. It's from 8 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra. Here at Loftus Road, there is a problem facing Great Britain, and it's a 24-8 scoreline that is against them, against the rampant New Zealanders, who have played so well in that first half. John Keir and Millwood are with us, as we say, and well, they need the main man now to try and get out there and get amongst the Kiwis, but they've had the break to come up with a formula. John Keir for Great Britain, what on earth do they do in this second half apart from score first?
Well, firstly, what they've got to do is look after the football, get to the end of the sets, kick well, make New Zealand come from their own 20-metre zone, because New Zealand score the vast majority of their tries in the Britain 20-metre zone or from the 30-40 out. They're not long-distance men, so we need to play field position, and then the next thing we need to do is when Kieran Cunningham picks up and goes, everybody's got to push up with him, because he's the man who's caused them problems in the first half.
New Zealand with the first use of the football, Ian Millwood. What we've seen, the Kiwis have been out there for about the last 5 minutes. Britain have just emerged. It's unusual to see a team out at half-time and warming up.
Yeah, everyone talks about the emphasis and what a Great Britain got to do to win the game. What's New Zealand got to do to win the game? They've got to play on attack. Historically, last year, they conceded points after half-time and lost games. They have in the first 2 games. What they're going to have to do here now is come up with a fantastic kicking game. Very, very basic go forward. But I like the way they come and warmed up after half-time, Eddie. They had a plan. They decided this is the way we're going to solve it, and they're very focused.
Right, let's get the half-time news from the 2 camps. Chris Warren is with the Kiwis. Bill Arthur is with the Brits.
Pretty gloomy shroud hanging around that Great Britain dressing room at half-time, certainly when they went in. Bit of a more positive step when they came out after Brian Noble had given them a few home truths. Acceptance in the Great Britain camp that it was a dreadful start, but they were caught cold. There's signs that they were rusty there, but the plan is to get back to what they were doing well in the preparation for this game. They were working well on the training park, and the message from the coach is to get back to the plan, do what we do best, and see if they can put a bit of pressure on this Kiwi side. They've been across the New Zealand line 3 times already, and they haven't been playing particularly well, is the Great Britain feeling. If they can string it together, then they reckon they can put a bit of pressure on this New Zealand side. Let's find out what the Kiwis reckon to their prospects with Chris.
Well, the good news for the Kiwis, a clean bill of health for all 17 players. You talk about their preparation. They were out here, as you said, about 6 minutes before the second half restarted. That wasn't so much about strategy or tactics, but rather a very small dressing room. The Mad Butcher, their football manager, couldn't even fit in there. That's how small, in fact, it was. I think it was to be expected that Great Britain got off to a worse start than the Kiwis. Keep in mind that these guys have played 4 times now already this season in 4 tests. It is, of course, Great Britain's first test together. Not only that, Great Britain didn't get a chance to warm warm-up or train here at Loftus Road, whilst New Zealand had a lengthy training session yesterday going into this game. Combinations, I think, are coming together very well in the New Zealand team. You've seen Brent Webb and Nigel Vangana combining well, and you've seen that the likes of Minicello and Lockyer also doing the same thing. Incidentally, a great start his international career, young Jake Webster. 3 tests, 3 tries today, his 22nd birthday.
Well, not the best there from Guttenbeil. They really wanted to be able to get a kick away and apply the pressure, which they did in the first half. That is a big mistake. Let's hope that Britain can capitalise on this. They've come out a lot stronger and with a lot more purpose.
Interesting that Chris saying that this is the 4th match that the New Zealanders have played this year. Britain's first, of course, since the Tri-Nations final, the back end of last year. There are plans afoot, and I know the Rugby Football League looking at the fixture pattern to maybe introduce a match for Great Britain mid-season next year against the rest of the world 13. We will wait and see if that happens, but certainly this match here, this first 40 minutes here today, Steve-O, the British national side is crying out for some pre-season or pre-tournament preparation.
Well, we've known it for quite some time, and we also know that we play far too many games so that when it gets to the end of the season, but there's no excuse for 16 missed tackles in the first half by the British boys.
Decent kick from Sinfield. The ball has bounced kindly. Gleeson! He gets the ball away, but it's swooped on by Brent Webb.
No advantage.
First knock on by the Kiwis, is it?
No advantage now.
Yes, it is. Great Britain. Yeah. With head and feet.
Yeah, he's got it right.
And that was good work there.
By Carney, putting under real pressure. And Carney will be the first to realise that he really has to have a big second half. Nothing went right for him in the first 40.
So here come Great Britain now with Sinfield, and here is Paul Wellens. Wellens grounded 10 metres away from the New Zealand line. Sinfield comes left and finds teammate Walker, who finds Senior. The Leeds combination. He's got the ball on the body, I think.
I think he's got it down.
Oh, has he got the ball down first off?
I think he's scored. I think Senior has lunged out. And what a time to come up with it. Beautiful offload there from Walker, his Leeds teammate, and this is where you'll see it scored. There. That's try time. That's just what the doctor ordered, and Britain are back. Great effort. He gets it down, don't worry. There it is. Tedder Furman. TRY, and the crowd here will be very pleased. They were more than impressed, or should I say, not really impressed at half-time. There's confirmation. Senior, as he set the ball rolling.
Well, we said that Great Britain had to score first, and Brian Noble knows that better than anybody, and Keith Senior has produced the goods. Back in first-class rugby league for the first time since the end of August.
Great pressure there from Carney. That'll lift his spirits, but what about the beautiful offload there from Walker? And the sheer upper body strength of Senior takes him over. Look how it just sucks them straight into them. Spins away. That is a fine effort. That is what we needed.
So Sinfield with a vital kick. And Kevin Sinfield adds the extras. And it's 24 points to 14. Still, though, in the New Zealand favour.
Well, Eddie, that will have sown the seeds of doubt, won't it, with the Kiwis? And it's that fella Keith Senior who's doing it once again. And just as we said, Eddie, they needed to build pressure, get field position, and the points will come. And that's exactly what's happened. And it's the same script from now on, GB.
Well, vital that Great Britain gets something out of this match, because you don't need me to remind you that it was 1959 when Britain last won 2 tests on home soil against Australia, and 1970 when they last won a series against Australia away from home. So with what's to come in the next couple of weeks, Great Britain really do need something from this match, and they've got just 34 minutes of the second half to rescue it. Well, they've got the best start.
They certainly have, Eddie, but what will be going through the New Zealand players' minds now is that on both occasions against Australia, Australia put together 3 and 4 tries into 2 games within the space of 15 minutes. Can Britain do exactly the same?
Here comes Fielden, and he's through Guttenbeil, and he's through Tupe. but he wasn't through Brent Webb. That's the last tackle. It was a great run from the big prop forward. And here now is Kieran Cunningham. It's a try for Paul Johnson. The second try for Johnson. Suddenly Great Britain are on a roll. Well, they proved last year, the Kiwis, they can be vulnerable after half-time. And Brian Noble, well, he had to give a big speech. It looks like he might have given it.
And it all came about by a wonderful run there by Stuart Fielden. Talk about putting your body on the line. And it left the full-back up in straight in space, and Johnson goes in for try number 2. And it will be even more going through their minds now, the black and whites. They are in a lot of trouble. And it all comes about by that silly offload by Guttenbeil, when they should have been way down in the opposition half, and it allowed Great Britain to get into the Kiwi 40, and they have split them in the space of a minute. Senior first, and then Johnson in for his second try. Hold on to your horses. This could be a pretty rough ride.
Just as happened in Auckland last week, the collapse has come about with Ruben Wiki off the field. And Sinfield has the extras. Suddenly the game is turning. 24 points to 20.
It was interesting that set of 6. The amount of Great Britain players on their right-hand side kept pinpointing and pointing towards Stacey Jones and said, that's our target, that's who we want to run at. And then their recognition after Fielden made the great break of jumping to the right side. Cunningham's favourite side of jumping out is to his right, and the players are up, they're up flat, they recognise it. Touche, try.
I noticed that Ruben Wiki has re-emerged from the sideline, so his break was 8.5 minutes. Carney underneath the kick-off. Suddenly Great Britain supporters find their voice. Great Britain players gain a little bit of confidence.
It's important now that Great Britain just do not panic. Don't think that they've got to keep the ball alive when they're deep in their own 20. Just drag themselves to the halfway line. Make sure that a good kick and chase. It wasn't there in the first stanza. They've got to make sure that that's what they do. Even if they do what the Kiwis did in that first half, kick directly, dead in goal.
This is Chev Walker. He tries to get the ball away and does to Rob Burrow. And Burrow fires the pass wide. And that is Leon Price. Burrow again at dummy half. Britain suddenly with a little bit of belief as Walker takes tackle number 5, this set of 6. Cunningham at dummy half. Here is Sinfield. And Sinfield drifts the kick through, just dribbles it down the middle. Underneath it, Stacey Jones, he's lost it. Oh, he's tackled without the ball though, Jones. It's a penalty.
Yeah, it's got to be. Just got a bit exciting there, did Sinfield. Beautiful kick through though, wasn't it?
Well, they forced the error.
Yeah. And he lost it, but Sinfield really should not have taken him out. He should have tried to get to the football, but it was a beautiful kick from him, and that's good to see.
Right there, yep.
So it's a penalty though to New Zealand. They can clear their lines by 20 metres or so.
Eddie, we talk about skills in rugby league, the core skills and the passing, tackling, but how important is the mental side of the game? Sometimes as a player and as a coach, you think about we must not concede tries after half-time, we must start better, and sometimes your focus is too much on that and about all the good things you're doing in the first half. And this is an area New Zealand now will be put to test, because this is year number 2 that they've fallen in the second half. Can they go on with it? Or I think Great Britain's got momentum at the moment. What do you think, John?
Yeah, definitely so, and but we need to realise that, Great Britain need to realise that we don't need to win the game now. The game's won in minute 80, so just remain patient and do what we started doing so well this half.
Good tackling too from Great Britain suddenly. They're 10 metres inside the British half. Jones with the kick, it's a high, it's a hanger, and they're all after this. It's a test of this for Wellens, and he comes up with the goods, Wellens, but he's bundled over the line, and it's a goal line dropout.
Good work by Vangenaar there, and it was a beautiful high kick, wasn't it? And the rain has started to fall, not heavy, but it's made it quite difficult out there, and that's the reason why Wellens was forced over the in-goal area.
Not so sure about Nigel's beard, Steve-O.
Well, I'd borrow anything of his body hair at the moment.
Goal line dropout for Great Britain. And underneath it is Stacey Jones, who just flicks it into the arms of Webster. And Cunningham meets him head on.
I get the impression the New Zealand coach Brian McLennan would have got the message out. Remember, I mentioned that Guttenbeil, in a good position, tried to offload in an impossible area. He would have said, let's just calm it down. We've got the quality.
Here they come with Pritchard. Oh, great ball. Great ball that was to Fatuira. And great defence from Great Britain. How on earth did Chev Walker keep him out? They're camped on the British line. Here is Webb. Infield it goes to Jones. The ball to Guttenbeil. Great support. Great support, and Clinton Tupee with the try for the Kiwis. Just what they needed, New Zealand, to respond to Great Britain's start to this second half.
And it all came about by a great kick and chase that forced Wellens into the in-goal area. And from the dropout, they moved through. Batavai got close, but then Tupee. Watch him take the ball on the run. What a beautiful offload there. Superb play by Guttenbeil. Support. That was one of the major reasons why they took a commanding lead in this game, is that the New Zealand forwards can turn in the tackle and offload. We don't see that more often from the Great Britain side. That was a classic try.
Great try from Clinton Tupee. And as he went over the line, there was a bank of New Zealand supporters behind that set of posts, and he just nodded a few times. Big grin. 2 hat-tricks against the Australians, the only man in history in a New Zealand jumper to do that. And Stacey Jones with 4 from 4 tonight. Is this going to be his last match in the black and white of New Zealand? He said as much, but his coach before the game indicated that maybe not. Jones adds the extras.
Well, surely, if they're on the verge and getting to the final, it would be very difficult for any international rugby league player to turn down the opportunity to play at the top of the tree, which is a final on the international circuit.
Well, in 1999, New Zealand got to the final of the Tri-Nations that year. He broke his arm, Stacey Jones, and he didn't play, so surely he could not possibly resist the temptation. Surely he could not help himself. But hey, that's a long, long way away. And we're saying that New Zealand are almost in the final. There is a lot of rugby league to be played here. And of course, 3 more weeks of top-flight international rugby league. The New Zealanders against Great Britain again, and Australia twice for Great Britain. That's the menu after this. And then we will get to the final on the 26th of November, and the 2 best nations will be there. But with a 4-point advantage over Great Britain, if they hang on to this. Nigel Vangenaar with the mistake. But a 4-point advantage for New Zealand over Great Britain if they hang on to this win. It would be an almighty task for England, for Great Britain.
It wasn't the best pass from Stacey Jones, and he knows it. Raised the arm to the standoff, Nigel Vangenaar.
Well, I'm sure he'll be very disappointed, Steve, but that last New Zealand try I thought it was a really well-constructed try, because they got the field position by forcing the repeat set with the dropout, and they certainly took full advantage there. But when they turn over cheaply, they are under pressure, and you can get these big forwards left on the floor for Cunningham to jump out.
Now, Vangenaar could have been penalised there. It was all over the top of Sinfield. Here is Walker again.
He's had a bit of steel since he came off the bench, Walker.
Penalty. Fiddling round at the play the ball. Vangenaar was lucky earlier, and there was also in attendance there Fatuira, and the referee here had shouted held. They had to let him go and let him play the ball. They didn't.
Well, they've got to go it into the corner. You don't need the 2 at this point. And that's a good kick. Now they've got to get a little bit more support play.
Holding here.
We saw it when Johnson went in for his 2nd try.
Great opportunity for Great Britain here then. Here is Morley. Inching closer to that line with Sinfield, and now Burrow. And Burrow just delays the pass to Gleeson. Hauled down by Guttenbeil. Paul Johnson on a hat-trick here tonight himself. Gets the ball in field, finds Peacock. And Peacock is dropped to the ground. 3 tackles gone. That's the Kiwis' try line. Cunningham sniffing the opportunity to knock on. It's back to 0. Back to 0. Referee hasn't wiped it down. He's not wiped the tackle count down, the referee. I I thought that should be back to 0. Here is Fielden. And now he calls tackle number 5.
They've got to go for the little kick. Or will Cunningham go on his own?
Cunningham, back it comes to Sinfield. Sinfield will drift the kick in. And they allow the ball to go dead. But I think Great Britain have just been outdone there. I'm sure there was a hand here.
Yeah,
that was played at.
Yeah, played at that one. That should have been scrum down, should it? Or back to one.
Back to one.
For the full set.
It was Lauatiti whose big hand stretched out and flicked it forward. This is Fatuira again.
With a 10-point lead, you'll guarantee that the Kiwis will not be playing fancy stuff. They'll just drag their big forwards down the centre, make sure they know they've got a good kicking game.
Guttenbeil again. Almost gets them to halfway. That's Anderson, Louis Anderson, Stacey Jones, Lauatiti goes wide. They're keeping the ball alive, it's Tupy. And Clinton Tupy to the corner. Wellens does brilliantly well. And the ball flicked in field. And that's a gift for Kevin Sinfield. Play on. Wellens was Great Britain's saviour then.
Was he ever? What a beautiful pass. Lauatiti, we've seen his quality playing for Leeds. The ability to offload there was quite superb. And again, we are having trouble down that right-hand side.
What a fantastic try-saving tackle, though, in the corner. If Tupy had gone in then, that was curtains.
You would think so.
Gleeson has broken through the tackle. Here is Wellens. Wellens to Burrow. And he is clawed down from behind by Frank Pritchard. Quick play the ball. Cunningham scooting in. Gets it to Sinfield. Flick pass by Gleeson. Out to Brian Carney. Carney! Halted. First by Lauatiti.
Did well, Carney keeping the field of play.
Last tackle. Cunningham.
Another kick. Put it high.
Sinfield. Crossfield kick it is. Looking for the big men out here. Back it comes to Senior. He flicks the pass wildly inside. And it's grasped gleefully by the substitute, Louis Anderson.
He's claiming that he wasn't in theatre, but he's going down. That's good play.
He slipped. Right, where you go?
Stuart Fielden it is.
Well, Fielden flat out and in the ruck.
Quite a stray boot. And that could turn the game. It's things like that that swing it away. David Kidwell has come up with one big error. And you just get the feeling now that Great Britain are building in confidence, getting over the advantage line. They're moving a lot quicker.
And this is Sinfield. The time is certainly on Great Britain's side.
A little bit more running from dummy half as well. You can see that the Kiwis are tiring around that first and second marker area. This is where Cunningham should come to a fore. Also, Rob Burrow. Scoot.
That could have been a penalty as well. Here is Fielden. Good strong run. They're trying to slow Great Britain down to play the ball. Cunningham again. Flicks the pass. Johnson! For Paul Johnson! Paul Johnson of the Bradford Bulls. He won a grand final with Wigan in '98. He won a grand final with the Bradford Bulls 2 weeks ago. He's just come up with a hat-trick for his country in the Tri-Nations.
And what a time to come up with it. He spun out of it absolutely superbly. Cunningham set it up. This is where it all came apart for the Kiwis. David Kidwell really shouldn't have done it. He said more scooting from the dummy half position. Pulls out of it. Lauatiti couldn't stop him. Johnson in for the hat-trick. And in the meantime, Fielden has been taken from the field of play by his coach, Brian Noble. Nick Fozzard has been introduced into the fray. Sparks will fly when this guy gets the football.
Sinfield from bang in front, hammers the ball over the bar. It's 26 points to 30, only 4 in it.
Well, what tremendous play was it once again by Kieran Cunningham. As soon as there's a quick play the ball, New Zealand is left on the deck, Cunningham goes, everybody pushes, and there's gaps aplenty. I think that Great Britain really have come back into this game superbly well. The momentum is with us, loads of time left. Let's enjoy it.
Now there's some confusion here because oh, they've got it now. I was going to say in the stadium, the scoreboard has just said 24:30, but they'd not caught up with us or Kevin Sinfield. It was a good conversion. It's 26:30 confirmed.
Eddie, we're all up here talking about the whole time which team's got momentum in attack. Oh, Carney's throwing the ball out the back and giving him a repeat set. This is what I mean here, Eddie. Everyone's talking about repeat sets in attack, and the repeat sets have been able to build momentum. I'll tell you, neither team's got the ability in this game at the moment to defend back-to-back sets. That's been the problem with the scoreboard. Back-to-back sets, who can defend them?
Brian Carney is not having his best night.
And also, Eddie, as well, we've got David Solomona reintroduced on that left side. I thought he was superb in his first spell, and I'm certainly be looking to push the ball towards him, the New Zealanders, so that he can create something once again.
Rain falling here in West London.
Very heavy indeed as well. And that is going to be really important. The headgear goes on little Rob Burrow.
Yes, he picked up a bang on top of his head and was receiving some treatment while Kevin Sinfield took the conversion of the Paul Johnson hat-trick try. And he's obviously been patched up and sent back out. Brave lads, each and every one of them.
Well, Brian Carney will be hoping that they do not score from this set of 6.
Sinfield with the drop out to halfway. Underneath it, Stacey Jones. And here now comes Jake Webster. Oh, Cunningham with a big hit. Big moments these for Great Britain, and big moments also for Nick Fozzard, of course, on the field of play, making his international debut at 28 years of age.
Got to work as a unit, Britain now in their defence.
This is Pritchard.
Cannot miss a tackle. We've seen the quality of the support play by the Kiwis.
Oh, good run from the substitute Louis Anderson. Inching towards that Britain line, aren't they? And here is Stacey Jones. And there is Webb. Out wide it goes. There's men on the overlap. There are men on the overlap. Fatawira gets the ball away. There's the big man again. Fatawai. Has he got the ball down? He's convinced he has.
Well, he's got it down. Whether he's touched the flag before, that's what we're going to see.
It certainly took a wobble, the flag. It certainly went over. He's transferred the ball from one hand to the other.
I think he's got it.
Unbelievable. Now, it depends what his legs are doing behind there.
Is the left leg on the whitewash?
Well, the touchers was waving furiously straight after the try, alleged try was scored. So
what's the left leg? Does it lift up? I think it does.
Has he dropped the ball?
I think he's got fingertip control on that. I think he's going to give this.
If this is given as a try, that is a wonder try. I think that's a flag.
I think we're looking for a different angle here, guys. The linesman's adamant it's not a try. The video's available for us, and that's the great thing about it.
Well, that one won't tell us much.
He wants this linesman. He's either waving to someone here.
Well, I think he gets fingertip control over it. Yep,
there's certainly nothing wrong, and he's airborne, but it depends what's happening behind there.
I think his leg is airborne. Has he touched the whitewash? He did it for the other one that was turned down. It's a good push from Carney. Nearly got caught again. I think the leg's up. I think he'll give this.
Well, he didn't give the other one.
Gee, I hope for Brian Carney's sake it doesn't, because it hasn't been Brian's night. And he's a much better player than he showed tonight. I can assure people out there in rugby league world.
Well, it's a pretty special effort, though, isn't it, from the Kiwi winger? Absolutely outstanding work to squeeze in.
Yeah.
It's a big
I don't know how you can deny this from this angle, because
neither can I.
I'll keep going back to what we've said throughout the Super League. Benefit of doubt, attacking side.
It's a left leg that he looks for. Don't worry about it. I think he's got it down. The left leg is in the field of play now, and then he lifts it. He lifts the leg.
Well, on what we've seen, benefit of doubt, Steve.
Yeah.
But what skill, transferring the ball from the left hand to the right hand as it's falling, and it hasn't got, there isn't a gnat's whisker there. Absolutely first-class left wing play.
Bob Connolly has come up with one controversial one. And that is number 2.
Well, we've said it throughout the season, benefit of the doubt for the man attacking. but not on this occasion. On 2 occasions, Bob Connolly has probably saved Britain's bacon. Pretty difficult to tell.
How can you possibly deny that?
That's what I think.
Now, Great Britain have got a penalty.
You know, I overemphasise once again, Eddie, any team that has to defend a double error or a mistake is struggling to come up with back-to-back sets defensively. And we've got plenty of mileage in this game left still.
Brian Carney is under intense pressure here.
Is he ever?
And he's actually gone off. He has been withdrawn by his coach, Brian Noble. And that's mercy, I think.
Yeah, I think I often honestly thought that he might do it at half-time, but I think he's got to have done that. It's a brave man to substitute your vice-captain.
64 minutes of the match gone.
He was all at sea, Eddie. He had to do it. They probably put Johnson out there on the right wing, have they?
Well, I'm just thinking about that video referee decision. That's a huge call. And here come Great Britain now in the shape of Lee Gilmore. It's peacock. I'm almost speechless because we want the credibility of the video referees to be absolutely impeachable.
Yeah.
This is Burrow. And Burrow with a little delicate chip looking for Senior. He flicks the ball back. And it's picked up by Leon Price. And the kick again out wide. Oh, they've allowed it to bounce. Good job that Brent Webb was there. They're going to pick him up and put him over the line, are they? Well, that tackle is now complete.
But it is when one of your own players touches
the weight.
Touches the weight to it. Well, they're living on their nerves at the moment, New Zealand.
Well, Ian spoke about the mental set of the sides. I mean, at the minute, you've got to say Great Britain have got that belief, and New Zealand look as if they're hanging on.
Here is Solomona again. And it's great defensive set this for Great Britain.
It has to be as well. I've got to make sure that New Zealand are well back so that when they get the kick in, the chase will be able to be repelled. Oh, that's a great offload.
Fantastic offload, and Stacey Jones gives it to Solomona. They don't make too many meters forward. Oh, he offloads again. That was crazy. Play on. Here is Cunningham.
What on earth are they playing on?
This now is Rob Burrow.
They're going to give this British side this game right on the plate. We saw Guttenfield do it earlier, and they've done it again.
This is Johnson. Johnson finds Walker. Walker is surrounded by 3, dumped to the ground.
This is where you need to quick play the ball. They're holding down. Look at that, Anderson didn't get penalised.
It's Morley.
Now then, let's have someone running on the angle. It's been very flat throughout the game. Someone do something different.
Cunningham. Fozzard. Ooh. What a thumb that was by Lauatiti. Rob Burrow. Oh, they dropped it. He was looking for the short ball to Cunningham. And they dropped it.
And it was on as well. Just lost control. He's furious with himself.
Actually, if he'd have given it to Cunningham, Cunningham would have scored.
Yep.
Time is now against Great Britain. You know, Eddie, if you said, what's the difference in the last couple of sets of New Zealand than what they were doing earlier very well? The difference is there's a lot more sideways movement in it. Before, they were very direct with Wiki and their big guys. At the moment, their body language at the moment, they're off the ball. They're a little bit tired, and that's why they're going sideways, which has given Great Britain a greater opportunity to force some errors.
I say time is against Great Britain. It's also against New Zealand, bearing in mind they only arrived in this country on Tuesday, so the long flight might start taking its toll. What a hit by Cunningham. I tell you what, Frank Pritchard felt that. Here's Wiki.
That's great defence. They've kept them within the 40.
And they don't get to halfway this set of 6. Now the kick from New Zealand has to be good. It's with Stacey Jones. And Leon Price is underneath it, 10 metres from his own line. Price will start the counter.
Pretty good ploy there by Price. You could see that Keith Senior was leaving him a gap just at the last moment. Well spotted by the Kiwi defence.
Senior now again.
There's still plenty of time. Britain do not have to panic.
Great defence.
Super stuff, isn't it? Boy, this has been one heck of a battle.
Well, when do Britain have to panic, Steve? There's only 11 minutes left.
About 5 minutes.
The way this test match has gone, I'm panicking. Well, I've been panicking since the 6th minute.
Eddie, they got 2 rules. One, they don't have to concede a try. One, they got to score and convert it, win the game. That's why time's on the clock. Be patient. Work about the process. Don't worry about the scoreboard.
Deacon's kick is straight down the throat of Brent Webb. Walker gets to him. It's a very skinny 10 that Glenn Black is keeping, by the way, and has for much of the night.
To be fair, I think both the referee and all the players, they're really out on their feet. This has been one heck of a slog. Okay, there's been plenty of missed tackles from both sides. Some tremendous tries scored.
Fatuira again.
4. Here I am, boys. Here I am. 4. No penalties.
This is where New Zealand now can just make it into a good area to make sure that the kick is on.
Rahihi keeps going forward, takes the... Oh, the ball has come out. The ball has come out. Knock on, he says. And Rahihi is furious. He says that the ball was stolen from him, reached away.
Pretty hard to say, but I think it may have had a little bit of assistance from Mr. Peacock and Fielder. Either way, it negates any opportunity that New Zealand had of firing the kick into the corner.
Feed it.
Now they will do a move from the scrum base.
Sinfield, Gleeson.
Many opportunities, they've kept him pretty quiet.
10 minutes to go. 4 points the difference. Great Britain, New Zealand. Oh, what a hit.
He's lost it as well. That'll be a scrum down.
That's great speed of the line, isn't it? Motu Tony absolutely flew out of the line and creamed the British player.
And Lee Gilmore is in a bit of trouble.
He certainly is.
Just have a wee look at that. I think it's fine.
It's on defence like that. The game's won.
Give him some room.
Well, Steve, you talk about turning points. Is this one from Motu Tony?
I think it is. I thought it would be a weakness, you know, having to put Motatoni in there as a hooker. To go into an international game without a recognised rake, it's very rare indeed, but to the credit of the man, he has adapted ever so well, and you can see there that...
Nothing wrong with the tackle. I don't think it's just an accidental clash of heads on
the shoulder
on
and
the jaw.
And he just brought the head up.
Gilmore blowing a bit hard. Time off, of course.
Well, surely they'll take him from the field of play. You can't afford to have someone out there that doesn't know where he is.
He's a bit wobbly on the legs.
You need everybody alert. Don't take the gamble. Get him substituted.
Not keeping tabs on the interchange count, but I would assume that Great Britain have some left. There's one that's just happened. Ellis for Walker. And Walker immediately comes back into the fire because Gilmore has to go off.
And into the second row. He's strong enough. Has impressed me, Walker, tonight.
It's with Nigel Vangenaar, who gets the ball away to Fatuira.
No penalties. Kieran holding you, mate. Holding.
Great Britain have simply got to keep them out. This is Kidwell.
The thing is, which side will keep their nerve?
Two on me, mate. Here we are. Clear!
Louis Anderson. Rahihi. That drifted a little forward, didn't it? Rahihi is bundled out of it. The 20 metres away is Motutoni. This is Stacey Jones. It's Brent Webb. They're running it again. They're running it down that channel again. Important ankle tap. Now he's tackled. Quick play the ball. It's with Solomona. David Solomona, Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, is bundled to the ground just a few metres short. That's the interchange situation. Here is Stacey Jones looking for the runners. It's Rahihi! Oh, Rahihi! Could easily have won this match for New Zealand. There's another question mark over the try,
was taken out, please. Check for an obstruction, please.
He wants to see him back play.
He wants to see if there's any obstruction, but I don't think so. He delayed the pass. There's a dummy runner. No.
Wrong choice in defence. That's all, Steve-O.
Yeah. Sinfield took the man that he thought was going to get the football. There is no obstruction here. Absolute wonderful pass by Stacey Jones. He has been the architect for so many years for the black and whites. And the little halfback surely now must have seen the Kiwis home.
The try is given to Paul Rahihi, who will be illuminating Super League with Warrington next year. And Brian McLennan, well, he has done a fantastic job. 43-year-old Brian McLennan, pride is back in the Test jersey for the Kiwis, no doubt about that.
Sheer quality to confuse a defender of the quality of Kevin Sinfield is not easy. He picked his man, but he didn't have the football.
And Paul Rahihi winning his 15th cap. But his first ever try for his country there. He was captain of New Zealand against Great Britain at Hull last year when the British won. And Stacey Jones here with a perfect record with the boot. And Paul Rahihi might well have got a little bit of revenge. I don't know how they can continue on in this competition without Stacey Jones.
You're right there. Look at the man. It's the pass. Sinfield takes the wrong one. And the big prop forward, Rahihi. He'll enjoy that. Now, this is the time where Great Britain have to throw everything.
Well, they might do. They've got the rub of the green, but they've both knocked on here. First knock on against Kidwell, I think.
It's not over yet. It is not over yet, I can tell you.
Great Britain's head and feed.
They want to get this pack formed very quickly. The Kiwis are just questioning the New Zealand official, who I think has done a fine job. He made it quite clear in the media that he was extremely nervous over it, and rightly so. To be in charge of your national side in a game like this, boy, that's pressure.
Here is Kevin Sinfield. Oh, Gleeson went without him. He knows that the try was begging then.
Zero tackle.
There's nobody back in defence for Great Britain, by the way, here. And Leon Price now drops back into the full-back role as Rahihi takes it forward again. Bill, you've got news on Gilmore, I think.
Yeah, Lee Gilmore came off looking very groggy indeed, but thankfully it was just a bit of a whiplash and got a bad bang, and he's all right. Rob Burrow has had a very nasty wound in his scalp, stitched up and patched up, and they're both ready to come back should they be needed. But basically the overall feeling down on the sidelines for Great Britain is one of huge disappointment.
Well, it is up here as well, and we said it was must-win for Great Britain. Steve-O, you're saying it's not over yet. There's 6 minutes to go. I agree, it isn't over yet, but if they do lose this,
it's going to be difficult. And not only that, if the scoreline stays the same, that means that New Zealand will have 4 points and 18 to the good. 18 points difference to the good. That means if Great Britain beat them, they're going to beat them by 18.
Here's another penalty for New Zealand. Great Britain are losing their rag a bit. And Louis Anderson gets the penalty. Will they take the two? No.
No, they'll take the tap.
They're running it with Stacey Jones.
They want to run the clock down.
Brent Webb, Nigel Vanganar. Vanganar dumps the ball back. It's with Kidwell. Kidwell. And he gets it away to Webb. And here is Motu Tony. Showed it to Stacey Jones. Gave it to Ruben Wiki. Wiki then out wide. Oh, they're in again. That's it. Second try for Clinton Tupi. And that is it. Brian McLennan celebrates. And New Zealand will take a 4-point advantage over Great Britain. And it could be a hugely significant night in the 2005 Gillette Tri-Nations. John Sharp and Brian Noble must surely know that.
Never any down now. The 2 points are going to the black and whites, and fully deserved. 2 silly penalties given away by a frustrated Great Britain side, and full credit to the Kiwis. You'd have thought they would just, let's tie it all up. No, they offloaded 7 passes involved in this, and they score a superb try. Most of them have come down Great Britain's right-hand side. It has not been the best performance in that department, and that finishes it off. Fully deserved. They've been a better side throughout. Great Britain will have to lick their wounds. 7
tries the New Zealanders have scored. They've had a couple chalked off by the video referee. So I suppose you have to say they deserve this. But It will make it very tough for the British now. Even though they have 3 more games to go, it is a mighty challenge, and everybody who has got tickets for Wigan next week, I hope they go there and roar themselves hoarse, because Britain needs something against the Aussies at the JJB Stadium. Stacey Jones, he adds the extras. It's been a remarkable kicking game from him. It's 42 points to 26, and this now is the biggest win by New Zealand against Great Britain. The biggest score, rather, against Great Britain, the 42 points that they have rattled up here tonight. Three and a half minutes to go. And the ball finds its way to the winger Webster, off the arms of Stuart Fielden.
And the most disappointing thing about it, Eddie, if we could have...
That's a penalty to New Zealand.
If we could have just kept it the scoreline down, but now those extra 2 tries are really just playing into the hands of the Kiwis now. The points difference is amazing now. It's into the 30 mark.
Eddie Clinton-Tupi's only played, this is only his 2nd game of the try series. In the first one, he scored 3 tries. What chance of him scoring 3 tonight? He's on 2.
And he's got 3 minutes to find the 3rd. And there's Guttenbeil, and Guttenbeil takes the return from his captain, Ruben Wiki. And what a night for Ruben Wiki. 47 test caps. Now the most test caps in history for Ruben Wiki, and he's led his men to a significant victory against Great Britain. But a mistake. And Britain have the ball back here with Fielden, who finds Leon Price, and he is halted by Webb. And it was a high tackle from Webb, and the penalty is forthcoming.
Well, Britain have to get on with it.
Yes, points difference at the end now might be vital.
They know the game's lost. That is without doubt, but they've got to try to gain as many points as possible, as quickly as possible in the remaining 2 minutes.
Cunningham and Deacon and Sinfield and Ellis. Good offload, Sinfield. Here's Wellens, a stab, looking for the man out wide, but all he does is find touching goal. Johnson was hunting. They had to try something.
Well, not a bad option. That's only the 2nd time that we've seen from Great Britain. Little kick down into the corner area.
Great Britain led, remember, after 2 minutes with the penalty. The lead lasted less than 60 seconds. Brent Webb over for the first of New Zealand's 7 tries.
And I think that the easy way that they went in for it as well, it showed that the Great Britain tactics in their defence have been very loose. Ian Millwood, would you agree?
Well, they have, but, you know, I've got to take my hat off to Brian McClellan, Steve-O. He's had a fantastic day as a coach. He's picked 4 forwards on his bench. He's picked 4 forwards who have got mobility. He realised they were coming off 2 tough games, a physical game in New Zealand. They've had a trip over across a long way in a plane. I think he's done well with his interchange, the way he's turned them around.
He's done brilliantly when you think he has cut his coaching teeth on the Hibiscus Coast Rangers and Mount Albert in New Zealand. And here he is now at the pinnacle of international football. But here comes Wellens, and Wellens won't pack it in. His tackle, if you remember, over in the corner,
saved it.
Saved Great Britain a real embarrassment. It's bad enough. Sinfield, and Ellis passed the ball to the touchline then.
There'll be a scrum down and an all-black feed.
It's all over Rover for Brian Noble.
It's not been a good night for anybody in the red, white and blue.
He will have to take positives from it, Steve. Where are they?
Not many, I must say. The speed and the efficiency of Johnson, perhaps. Scored a hat-trick in an international.
And end up on the losing side.
Yeah, it's a great effort.
There it is. Brian McClellan leads the celebrations. That's played 3, 1-2 and lost 1 against Australia by just 2 points. And they lead the Gillette 2005 Tri-Nations table. And suddenly they are the favourites. Australia, Great Britain to come next week. And Great Britain have to win that. They really do. But the Kiwis, they have produced one of their finest performances of recent times. and they've come up with a victory that has rocked Great Britain to their foundations. There will be 17 very disappointed players and a whole host of disappointed officials and coaches as well in the British camp over the next 7 days. In history, they won 60 out of 101 encounters with just 36 defeats. But New Zealand really have closed the gap over the last 20 years, and they've closed it efficiently and effectively tonight. What a night for Ruben Wiki. 47th Test cap and a victorious one for the Kiwi skipper. He's with Chris.
A massive night, Eddie, indeed. Ruben, how does it feel? You are the most capped international rugby league player in the world, and you've got a great smile on your face.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, mate. The camp's been great. You know, we set out for some goals today. We knew Great Britain was going to come out fired up, and they did, mate, and we just had to weather the storm, and, you know, it makes it even sweeter when we win.
Ruben, your old mate or younger mate, Stacey Jones, he's been phenomenal the last couple of weeks. Will he get through to the final? Perhaps will he come back and help you out if you were to get there?
No, we'll see how he goes tonight after the Carver. We might force him back, but we'll see what happens, mate. But he's been great for New Zealand rugby. Good to see him come to retirement. You know, I love the bloke, and it was just awesome to see him in the black and white jersey again.
A great spirit in this team. Your coach, Brian McLennan's obviously been responsible for a lot of that enthusiasm.
Yeah, Bluey's just been himself, you know. Always was real passionate and talking from the heart, and it strings are cool with all the boys, and the boys, you know, just played with their heart and had a bit of fun.
Well done, Ruben.
Thanks, man.
Fantastic performance from Ruben Wiki and his New Zealand team. And there's the man, Brian McLennan, who has, according to some great names of New Zealand's past, Graham Lowe, Frank Endicott, Ruben Wiki himself, Hugh McCann, has put the pride back into the New Zealand jersey. Look at that scoreline. There's pride aplenty now.
Well, the Tri-Nations off to the worst possible start for Great Britain, beaten here at Loftus Road by 42 points to 26. But Paul Johnson, who got the hat-trick for the British, he at least goes home tonight as the Gillette Tri-Nations man of the match. He's talking to Bill.
Paul, congratulations on a hat-trick. Probably the most disappointing hat-trick you've ever scored, I would think.
Definitely, yeah. You know, it was a little bit rusty there, and I think it showed. You know, the timing was out with us in the first half, and you know, it looked like we was going to get a good hiding, but you know, we stuck to it, and you know, we knew we could come back from that. We just dropped off there, you know, in the latter part of the half, and you know, they run away with it.
That's probably what makes it so disappointing, because you know the evidence is there. You got to cross the line 3 times as well as the tries you scored. You had the preparation, the warm-up game.
That's it. You know, they played two big games against Australia, and that's stood them in good stead there. You know, it's our first hit out, and you know, although we've lost and we've you know, we've beaten sort of, you know, in a larger score, you know, we'll be confident going into the next game. We'll take a lot of positives out of that.
Against Australia?
Yeah, we will, definitely, yeah. You know, that was our first hit out, and that's a lot to be said for that first hit out. Get it out of the way and look forward to next week.
Well done tonight on your hat-trick anyway.
Very much, thanks.
Well, the New Zealanders know how to celebrate, so does their coach, Brian McLennan, because they did the haka before they went into their dressing rooms at the end of the match. They did it in honour of Ruben Wiki, the man who tonight picked up his 47th Test cap, the most capped player in rugby league.